Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Leftover Popcorn podcast. I'm your host, as always, Damian Luneman, and today we're just gonna talk. That's it. We're just gonna talk the usual. It hasn't been a while since I did my last podcast, but I'm excited to hop back in at last podcast. If you did not listen, go check that out. It's me and my fiance Violet talking about aliens and reptilians that live among us. It's a great convo. It really is. Also, I hate when people say convo, and I just did it, so sorry about it. It is currently like 1:50 right now. After this podcast, I'm probably going to hang out with my buddies, bring my Xbox over there and play some video games. I always loved doing that, man, when I was a kid. I always loved that. It was such a huge thing, bringing your system or like whatever you owned to your friend's house, because one, it was like a status thing. Like, wow, I'm cool enough. He has one and I have one, and so do our other two friends, and it was like ours, right? Like, oh, that's Damian's Xbox. Oh, that's Zach's Xbox. And I remember my dad always hated it, me bringing my Xbox, because he had this thing where he would say, if you don't want it, if you want to keep, or if you don't want to lose it, don't bring it to your friend's house. And he was like, do you want to lose your Xbox? And I was like, no. And he's like, then don't bring it. And I was like, but I won't forget it. I cannot tell you how many times I forgot shit at my friend's house. Think about all the shit that you bring when you're a kid. You bring your clothes, your phone charger, your Xbox, some of your games, the controller cord for your controller. You're not bringing all that shit back with you. I guarantee it, because I didn't do that. And I would always be like, Dad, no, I'll bring it. I'll bring it back. I swear. And then, before I knew it, I'd come home, and then my dad would be like, did you forget anything? I'd be like, no, I got it all. And then I'd unpack it in my room. My controller would die later that night, and I go, oh, don't worry, I have that charging cord. And then I would look all over, and I'd be like, where is it? And I'd be like, fuck! I forgot it at my friend's house. Then I'd have to tell my dad, and he'd have to take me over there, and we'd go get it. So yeah, I always forgot it. But I do miss that, man. I miss that excitement of plugging up your, or in my case, an Xbox, plugging up your system to another TV and playing the same game, or hell, even playing different games, and just being in that environment together. It's pretty awesome. If you haven't done that before, it's cool. It's what I imagine book clubs are like. It's the same. It's got to be the same thing. Everyone's buying a book, and even if you're not reading the same book, you just sit around a circle and read, and it's cool. It's like a bunch of minds just coming together. And I like that. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll probably go over there, shoot the shit. But in the meantime, I just wanted to have a little chat with you guys beforehand, do a little podcast, talk about some stuff that has been happening. Nothing major has been happening. We are cracking down. Me and Violet are cracking down on the wedding. We have our checklist. We're checking some stuff off. She has her dress. We picked out the flowers. We have our colors. We picked the venue. I may or may not have a DJ so far. And all the stuff like that is really cool. I got to make the playlist for that. That'll be pretty cool. I get to choose the songs at my own wedding. Nothing's cooler than that. The major thing I think that I have to do is I have to figure out, my suit situation, what I'm wearing. But other than that, not much has been happening. I had notes on my phone and I forgot them, but maybe I'll just remember. So, as a white guy, I sometimes notice, whenever comedians or, anybody will say like, oh, that's such a white guy thing to do, right? Like it really is. Or like there's Instagram pages or memes where it's just like, dude, what a dude named Ethan or something. You know what I mean? Who vapes and has AirPods, right? Like you can picture the guy that I'm talking about, like a guy named Travis or something. I notice myself doing that a lot of the time, right? And I could tell it by like the clothes that I wear. I'm like, dude, I look like my name is Steven, you know what I mean? And my girlfriend's name is Sarah, you know what I'm saying? And she wears t-shirts that say like, I'm a hot southern mess or something like that. You know what I mean? Just white shit. Just the whitest thing that you could possibly do. The most Caucasian. Carry around a botter. carry around a bottle of Dasani water and just refill it and then drink it and bring it where you go. You know what I mean? So I always stay hydrated. Like, that's super white. But me and Violet might have witnessed the whitest thing on the planet. And I say that as someone, again, who has done a lot of white shit, right? Like, punched a hole in my wall because I lost at a fighting game. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. Just, you know what I mean? Yeah, stuff like that. So, I went to Little Rock to pick her up from her cosmetology school, and it was Little Rock, so it was a far drive back, and we were hungry, and we're like, well, we'll just go to Walmart and pick up some stuff so we can eat at home. And on our way to Walmart, I'm in the passenger seat, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, or like 9, my bad, not that late. And perfect timing, I just happened to look over to my right, and I glance over, and there is there's a Sprint store, which, dude, why? You know what I mean? Who uses, I didn't even know, and I'm not saying this to be comedic or to get a laugh, I didn't know Sprint stores were still a thing. I honestly thought the only people who still use Sprint are, like, people who don't know whether phone companies exist. You know what I mean? Or especially if you live in Hot Springs, like, that Straight Talk exists. Like, use it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't get it. It's just old. So I see that, there's a store. And again, why is there a physical store, right? Just make a website. You know what I mean? You don't need a store. And it's you know how phone stores always look like super bright and high tech on the inside? No matter what time of day it is, they always look open. You know what I mean? A phone store always looks open. So we're passing it in like 9:30, and I see it. My brain's all jumbled because I'm like, wait a minute, there's a Sprint store? Am I dreaming? And there's these two guys, about my age, I would say, just by looking at them from across the street, about 20s, you know what I mean? And it appears that they're hanging up this sign on the front glass-like pane of like a new cell phone plan or something, like a new deal. And again, we're just passing by, so this all happens in, a couple seconds span. But I look over to my right, and I see the guy. I see two guys, and they're trying to hang this sign. And then I guess the guy on the right clips it in, or does, however the fuck you hang a sign on a Sprint store that shouldn't exist. And he clips it on the wall of the Sprint store that shouldn't exist. And these two 22-year-old guys in the Sprint store that shouldn't exist, that are hanging up a sign for a new cell phone plan, once he clips it in, they turn to each other and they high fucking five, dude. They high fived. You should never high five after anything. Anything, dude. Unless it's after sex. Which, again, is the whitest thing ever. But, dude, that's fun. That's fun. You have sex, you give a little high five to your partner or to whoever you're sleeping with. You know what I mean? Could be anybody or not anything. Could be anybody, though. Yeah, you just high five after sex. That's good. That's good stuff. That's a good meme. But these guys were alone in the store, so they weren't putting on a show for somebody. You know what I mean? They weren't doing it unironically. They were in a store alone that shouldn't exist. They clipped it on the wall, and then they turned and high-fived as if they had a great accomplishment. Like, high fives should be saved for, like, the NASA moderators when they're overlooking, like, a lunar landing. Those guys can high five. Whenever you see footage of, like, lunar landing moderators, I don't know if that's what they're called, when they high five after, like, a successful landing, that's okay. After an achievement like that, dude. Or like sex, after both of you, or presumably maybe just you, the male, has done what he needs to do, you're done, you high five. That's it. It's an accomplishment. It's a great achievement, dude. So is landing on the moon. It's the same thing. But when you're hanging up a sign in a store that probably shouldn't exist, I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't mean to be the king of the white. I don't like where I was going with that. The king, yeah. So I do some white shit, but not that white. So yeah, two guys hung up a sign in a Sprint store and they high-fived, and they were the only two guys in the store. So that's pretty sad. Their names were probably Phoenix and Craig. They probably high-fived. Phoenix and Craig are best buds, dude. And they high-five the shit. Every sign they hang up, they high-five and they go, yeah, keeping the Sprint store alive, dude. That's the only reason Sprint stores exist, is because people like Craig and Phoenix are hanging up signs all over the place. We got to stop these guys, so we can shut down all these stores. But yeah, so that was cool. That was an exciting little moment. And then I just realized how much it irritated me. Like, dude, guys, don't high five. What are you doing? Don't high five. And then I lost my train of thought completely after that. Me and Violet were laughing so fucking hard in the car on the way to Walmart. Sorry, just had to take a drink of my Dasani water bottle. Something else that I thought about. So me and Violet are obviously getting married here in June, so very, very soon. And we keep making jokes. Okay, and before I go down this road, okay, I don't want anybody listening to this if it's friends or family and they're going, "Wow, Damian's already thinking about kids." Spoiler alert for what the story is about. But no, I'm not. But I also just want to say, dude, everybody's thinking about kids all the time. Everybody thinks about kids. It's like, even if you don't want to be a teacher, if you have no desire to be a teacher, at one point in your life, you thought about how if you were a teacher, you'd be a cool one. And I guarantee you, at the most bottom level, you have thought about being a parent just so you can say, man, I'd be such a cool parent. Everybody has. Doesn't matter if you're engaged, just boyfriend and girlfriend, or fucking single. Everybody thinks about kids. Not just because I'm about to get married am I thinking about kids. Everybody thinks about kids. And I'm not always thinking about kids. You know what I mean? In the good, I'm thinking about kids in just a normal way of, like, having them. Not having them, but like being a parent. That's it. That's what I was trying to say. Don't know why that took so long. But yeah, so I've been thinking about, like, kids, or like my kids, and I hope I have, like, a boy, at least at first. Because, dude, if I have a girl, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna. What do I do? What do I say? Huh? What do I say to her? How do I teach her to do girl shit? That's what Violet's for. You know what I mean? That's why boys and girls have. So what I also thought about is the funniest thing. Whenever you think about kids, you think about, oh, you're going to be a cool parent, or like what they're going to look like. You hope that they have someone else's hair, or your eyes, or someone else's eyes, or whatever. Or they're not hideous looking, or that, if they have a deformity or something, which can be cute. Deformities can be cute. Come on. You see a little kid with his eyes are a little too spaced apart and he looks like a little fish. That's funny. I mean, it's cute and funny. But anyways, I could have a deformed kid. I wouldn't care. I'd laugh. But in a good way. I'd laugh in a good way and then love him and cherish him and, buy him popsicles and shit. But what crossed my mind, and it's funny that it hasn't before, at least for me, is that I thought about making sure, and this is super selfish, but making sure that but they're your kids. They're your kids. You can be selfish with your kids. They're your fucking kids. You did it. You know what I'm saying? You high-fived after sex, and then a couple months later, dude, I tried to make that like but it went, and it did like this weird, like, which is probably a more accurate representation of the thing rather than so your kid out, and then it's your turn. You know what I mean? He's hoping you know what you're doing, right? You give birth to a kid, and he's like, okay, hey, you. He points his finger at you, and he goes, hey, it's your turn now. You know what I'm saying? Do something. Do anything. Tell me what to do. It's up to you to decide how I am. And so what crossed my mind it's a pretty good joke, but it crossed my mind, and I thought, I just don't want my kid to like shit that I don't like. You know what I mean? And I'll just give you an example. I don't want my kid to ever want, on his own accord, to want to wear wife beaters. You know what I mean? That's like, nowadays, if I see an adult wear a wife beater, I'm like, put something else on, dude. Or wear nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, or a plain white Hanes tee. Why do you need Okay, and they're always they make a human look weird. A wife beater. They're like frayed at the bottom, but then they're like skin tight around the belly, so it always makes people look over. I don't know. I don't like them. I hate them. And when I see a grown adult wear them, I'm like, what are you doing? And when I see that, I just am praying that my kid doesn't do that, because if I hate an adult who does it, I'm gonna hate my kid who does it. You can hate a kid, especially yours. He's yours. You can hate him. If anybody can hate your kid, it's you. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just don't want my little shit to be wanting to wear a wife beater. You know what I'm saying? When he's like 8, he's like, oh, I want to wear this when I go, try out for sports or something. You know, my kid might try out for sports. I don't know. If he's short and built like me, probably not. But, I don't want him to like Star Trek more than Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, what's so funny, sorry, I had to throw in a movie thing. I can't have a podcast and not at least reference a movie once. Isn't that kind of terrifying that you have that power? You know what I mean? Like, eventually when your kid gets older, he will form his own opinions and do shit like that, but you can instill that type of stuff on your kid. Like, if you never show your kid Paw Patrol, he will never like it. You know what I mean? Maybe when he gets older, he'll see it and be like, wow, that's so cute. Why didn't I see that when I was a kid? But as a kid, his opinion on it will only be shaped if that's what you're showing him. So what I want to do is only show my kids Star Wars movies, Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and stuff like that. Like really hardcore pop culture stuff that I like, so then he can like it, and then we can talk about it when he's like 2. I can be like, dude, wasn't that fucking sick when the Power Rangers did that? And he'd be like, bah. I'd be like, yeah, dude, you and me both. And then he'd go, bah. Because that's what babies do. There's a great bit by this comedian where he's talking about how babies are stupid. But, I don't care if my baby's stupid. I just want him to like the shit that I like. And sure, it's selfish, but hey, get over it. It's my kid. I'll do what I want. People are doing some crazy stuff with their kids, man. They let their kids do whatever they want, dude. Whatever they want. I thought about that, especially being in our generation, you know. We're surrounded by TV and phones and games and stuff like that. And like when my kid is born, presumably, at some point he's going to see me play video games. And he will want to do that too, and then I'll let him, and then he won't want to do anything else, and he'll just want to play video games like I did when I was a kid, and then I'll yell at him because I'm like, hey, you gotta go eat or you gotta do this, and he's like, I don't want to, I just want to play video games all fucking day. And it's scary. It really is. And like how, you see like there's like 4-year-olds who already know how to unlock your phone, go to YouTube, and find the videos that they want. You know what I mean? Or skip a video if they don't like the one that they're on. And that is, it's good because the kid is smart, right? But it's also scary because there's too thin of a line that you walk with that, and I don't want to even come near that line. Like, I serve tables at a hibachi restaurant, and I can't tell you how many times I see kids come in there with their parents, and they're just on their phone the whole time, not looking at their parents. And then when I ask them what they want to order, they're just like, I don't. And then they like gesture to their mom, and she's like, he'll have the most expensive thing on the menu, and that's way too big of a size for his small ass body, his little petite frame, his 8-year-old girl male body. So we're gonna get him the $32 lobster while he's on his phone. And I'm like, dude, fucking who? Who are you? Or he's just got his head. This is my least favorite. When people go into a public place with headphones on. Guy, take him out. Girl, take him out. Don't do it. I know, like, at the gym, it's fine. Not in Walmart. Not in Walmart. Take him out. Take him out. What if something happens? What if a life-altering event is happening in the store and you can't fucking hear it because you got headphones in, huh? What do you do? What do you do? Huh? Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody wants to look at you if you got headphones in. It's awkward. Can you hear me? Can you not? What do I say? If I'm in your way, if I say excuse me, if I say sorry, can you even hear me if I say sorry if I'm in your way in the aisle trying to get milk? Can you? Don't wear them. And I see kids do that in Osaka's all the time. That's where I work. I see kids do that all the time. They just have headphones in. And I'm like, dude, you're at a restaurant. What are you expecting? I know what you want without you speaking to me? I don't know. That bugs me. But also the reverse end. Don't come into a place without headphones while listening to whatever you're listening to. What are you, a fucking animal? Does a door not mean anything to you? Once you cross a threshold, this is how I look at it. Once you cross a threshold of wherever you're going, whatever environment you're going into, you have to acclimate to that environment, right? Like if I'm fucking hyped up, dude, I'm partying, I'm like hanging out with my friends and I'm having a fucking grand old time. Once I go into Walmart, people in Walmart are not having a fucking grand old time. They're not partying. So I acclimate to that environment and I go, okay, hey, we can have a good time, we can laugh, but hey, let's tone it down a little bit. But there's people going into Walmart fucking screaming and yelling and like talking to people across the store, and I'm like, guys, do you know where you're at right now? Do you know where you're at? Stop it. Don't do that. It's annoying to me and hopefully to everyone else. But yeah, I see kids do that all the time, and it bugs me, and it scares me. It scares me. So that's what I was thinking about recently too. I don't want my kid to be just sucked to the screen. You know what I mean? I want him to enjoy that stuff. I want him to enjoy movies, games, YouTube, and stuff like that. But just there's got to be a happy medium. There's got to be a happy medium. If you go out, once you enter the threshold that is the front door of a restaurant, you are now in a restaurant. You have to be polite, no elbows on the tables. You have to say yes, ma'am. You have to say please. You have to say excuse me. That's just how it works, dude. You're in a different place. You're not in your fucking house. And that bugs me. Woo! Got a little heated there for a second. But no, yeah, I just want to make sure that I brainwash my kid into liking whatever I like. And it's all nerdy shit. That's it. I don't want to like brainwash my kid into tell him to believe, a certain thing. The dude can believe whatever he wants. He's his own kid. I will give him. That's what I think most. Dude, I'm not gonna talk about parenting. What the fuck? No. Anyways, don't listen to music in a restaurant or in a public place unless it's the gym. Okay, thank you. Oh Jesus! I just swung my hand around and I slapped my cat in the face. Please forgive me. Animals forgive super easy. You know how many times I've accidentally stepped on an animal or hit one, and I was like, dude, if a human accidentally punched me in the face, I wouldn't forgive them for a while, man. Because, hey, put your arms by your side. You know what I mean? But animals, they don't care. Step on their tail, fracture their, collarbone by stepping on them when you get out of bed, and the next morning they're cuddled up next to you. And that is true love right there. The forgiveness that takes, a day. It's awesome. I love it. But yeah, so the Sprint people, I want to brainwash my kids. What else? Been talking about a lot about relationships at work recently, because now that I'm engaged, it's weird saying it, and it's interesting talking about relationships now, because now I'm so far away from the whole courting aspect, or trying to be like, I still want to impress Violet. I still want to show off and be cool, and I still make sure that like whenever I go meet her somewhere, I'm dressed up really nice, so she's like, wow, he's a low-key a babe. But okay, I need to tell you guys this super creepy, super weird story. So this girl that I work with was telling me about this. Okay, so there's a guy who works in the kitchen at the place that I work. Okay, and I'm not going to say names just because I don't want to. This guy who works in the kitchen, and then this girl who's a waitress. So they talk, I guess, just like any chef and waiter would talk. You're at a place of work. You gotta make sure you're cool with everybody, no drama, because restaurants are like fucking playgrounds, man. So much drama gets spread across the restaurant. Anyways, so she talks to him a bunch of times, like whenever we have like a employee meal or something, the chefs sometimes sit down with the waiters across the table and we all talk or whatever. So I guess what happened was the chef, the guy who works in the kitchen, got this girl's number, the waitress, and they talked for a little bit. And this waitress sometimes wears glasses, sometimes she doesn't. So this is where the creepy part comes in. Because right now it's a pretty tame story, right? He goes in the hibachi room, and there's like two people sitting there, and he was like, "Hey, girl, do you have a Snapchat?" She was like, "No, I don't really use one." He's like, "Oh, do you have like an Instagram?" And she was like, "Yeah, but I only get on it to see what my friends are up to." And he's like, "Oh, well, do either of you guys are you guys like heavy texters or whatever?" And both of them were like, "Oh, yeah, kind of. That's what I use." And he goes, "Oh, cool. Well, I would send you guys like funny memes or something on Instagram or whatever, but I can just send it through text if that's cool." And they're like, "Yeah, okay, cool." So here's step one. I'm not a love guru, okay? But I know that this guy who works in the kitchen made it a group activity. He said, "Do any of you guys use?" And he was taking answers when really he just wanted a specific person's number, which is a good way to do it. It's smart. It doesn't come across as too heavy, like you're singling someone out, and everyone in the room is like, "Oh, he just wants their number." So you include everybody, and that's fun, that's fine, that's whatever. So he gets her number in a very smooth way possible, right? Don't forget the glasses. In a very smooth way possible. So I guess they talk back and forth or whatever, and he starts becoming... He's not texting any of the other people, by the way, that he got their numbers. So he's texting this girl, and he asks her if she wants to go get coffee, and she says yes. Now, she could have just been saying yes to because she was being naive and she didn't know any better, or that she really wanted to go get coffee, and maybe he was gonna pay for it, so she gets him free coffee or something. So he sends her a message and he goes, "Okay, how about Tuesday at 3:30?" And she's like, "Okay, sounds good." Then he sends a message which I cannot forgive, and I think is so damn creepy and so damn weird. So they're gonna go get coffee. The plans are all set. He sends her a message at like 2 a.m. and he says, "So we're getting coffee, right? And we're gonna meet there." And she goes, "Yeah, that sounds like a plan." And he goes, "Okay, wear those glasses that I like. Those are cute." No. What? So if you guys aren't freaking out yet, you should, okay? Because anytime somebody, and granted, they're not dating, they're not together. If Violet's like, "Oh, hey, you should wear this today," I don't freak out. But dude, if somebody I don't know tells me to wear something and they're like, "Oh, because it's cute," don't do that, dude. That's weird, especially as a guy. That comes across as so creepy, dude. Hey, wear those glasses that I like. Those are cute. Listen, especially since from my knowledge, he had never complimented the glasses before, ever. So it's an out of the blue thing. So now this girl's mind is being flooded with, "Oh my God, every time I wore them to work, he was just like looking at me all creepily and stuff like that. And now if I wear them to coffee, I'm going to be wearing them because he told me to. And then when we're sitting across the table, he's going to look at the glasses and I'm just going to be thinking he's thinking some weird thoughts." That's super fucking weird. Don't do that. He was so smooth up until that point. You get a number by including a bunch of people so she doesn't feel singled out, and neither does everyone else feel weird, and no one's like, "Oh, he likes you, he asked for your number." Like, that's high school shit. But no, you ask everybody in the room. You do this, you do that. You go get coffee at 3 a.m. Or not 3 a.m. You go get coffee at 3:30 p.m. And, that's a cute little date. But then you tell her what to wear. Like an object, like an accessory. That's fucking weird. Hey, hey, baby, wear those glasses that I like. Those are cute. Like, I hope I'm not the only one who finds that so damn creepy, but that's a red flag. That is it right there. I should do like a relationship advice on Thursdays. I look up like stories or whatever of people asking questions like on Reddit or like what they should do, and then I'll talk about it. That'd be funny. Well, hey guys, on this first relationship advice thing, if you're courting, if you want to court somebody, if you want to sleep with them, if you want to get someone to go on a date with you, don't tell them to wear a certain accessory and then say, "It's cute, I like that." You don't have the power yet or the place to say shit like that. It's fucking weird. As Crystal Leo would say, it's weird. It's weird, man. Don't do it. Oh, my cats are so cute. Yeah, I just thought that was super weird and super funny. Okay, last thing. I wanted to talk about this before, and I had my friend asked me about it, and that's why I saved it for last. I didn't want to talk about it at the beginning. I know that a lot of people aren't a huge fan whenever I talk about movies and stuff like that. But this will be quick. This will be the last topic of the day, and then I'm gonna close out this short podcast. But I just wanted to I'd get one and talk to you guys, talk out to you. I appreciate you listening. And again, guys, follow me on YouTube. It's Damian Luneman. All of these are up there. No videos yet. I'm working on that. I'm figuring it out how I want to do the footage of me and stuff like that. But subscribe to it. Lets me know that you guys are actually, paying attention and actually wanting to it. Even if you're going to exclusively listen on Spotify, still subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Damian Luneman. It's the same titles, same logo, all of it. And of course, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, all of that. Listen on there too. Follow, like, or whatever. Those are on there. So it was recently made known. I'm a little late. I'm 2 days late, but I still want to get my point of view on it, even if you guys have already heard it. So the nominees for Best Picture came out for the Oscars. And Black Panther is one of them. Now, I could have a whole podcast dedicated to just this one topic, and I could talk for 30 minutes about it, but I'm kind of going to streamline my thoughts here, and without beating around the bush or giving you any personal background stories or anything like that, I'm just going to say that it's bullshit. I think for whatever reason, whether or not it's politics that it's in there or anything like that, I think it's bullshit. I think it's them just shoving it in there. I think it's a little too late. And I know, so here's the argument. Here's mine and here's other people's. Other people's are, if it is political, if it is in there just because it has a majority, it's actually basically only African-American actors, and it's a superhero movie and the cultural relevance is huge, right? If that's the reason, then they're saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Can't you just be happy that a superhero movie is now nominated? Because that was the big deal, that no super movie ever has been nominated for Best Picture. The biggest snub in history being The Dark Knight, which some people recognize as one of the best movies of all time, not even superhero movies. So Black Panther is nominated. I'm pissed. A lot of people are pissed, but, there's that voice of reason that's like, hey, guys, no matter what you're upset about, because there could be countless things, no matter what you're upset about, can't you just be happy that a superhero movie is nominated? And I say no. I say no because it should have been done a long fucking time ago with The Dark Knight. That movie is so fucking good. It's so damn incredible, and it didn't get it. And here's the worst. Here's the worst offender. If Black Panther was the only superhero movie to come out last year, I would understand. I would get it. I would get it. Maybe I wouldn't want it to win, but I'd get why it's there, right? Instead of other ones. But here's the thing. I know that there are some people out there that are blind to Black Panther, that refuse to say it's a bad movie. One, because they're scared, or because it is your culture, Black Panther, and you refuse to say a movie that improves upon and gives your culture some limelight and stuff like that. It's hard for you to say that there's anything negative about the movie, but here's the fucking thing. The direction in that movie is nothing to rave about. The visual effects in the third act are atrocious. The dialogue is not always great, and the action scenes and sound mixing are not that great. Here's the worst offender. 2 months later, 2 fucking months later, arguably the best superhero movie of ever, besides The Dark Knight, or up there with The Dark Knight, is Infinity War. Came out the same year. 2 months later, dude. 2 months later. Has 10 times better visual effects, 10 times better plot, and it took 10 fucking years for this story to culminate into this one film, into this one moment. It is a cinematic. It is... Infinity War might not have the cultural relevance that Black Panther has. It might not. It might not have the political statement that Black Panther has. But as far as cinema goes, as far as the movie-going experience, as far as the fucking craft involved, which I thought always that that's what the Oscars were about. That's what Best Picture was. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, how did it win Best Director but not Best Picture? And it's like, because in my eyes, they have all these separate categories because maybe they were only the best in that, whereas the Best Picture is all of them together the best. You know what I mean? And so Black Panther comes out, and yes, it's an okay movie, it's an okay film, but then 2 months later, a superhero movie is much bigger, much better, much more epic, and, dare I say, much more emotional than Black Panther, with 13,000 times better visual effects. And that doesn't get nominated with a better ensemble cast, a larger cast, so it's more difficult to rein all these people in and get them in the scenes and do the action and do this plot and do the story and the screenplay. And that doesn't win. I honestly don't believe there is an argument to be had where you could prove to me that Black Panther should be in it, should be nominated as Best Picture. Because it is not nominated in any of the other major categories. Not Best Supporting Actor, not Best Actor, not Best Director, and not Best Cinematography. But it is nominated for Best Picture? Fucking what? Huh? And I think in history that's only happened twice. I believe Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers wasn't nominated for any of those. And then something else. I forgot. Was it? I don't know. But it's only happened in the history so many times. Granted, none of those movies won. And I honestly don't think Black Panther will win. I think it's just up there again for the political statement, because I think that's all award shows are nowadays. But I think the thing that bugs me the most is I think Infinity War would have a chance of winning. And I'm going to shut down this argument one more time before somebody fucking brings it up. Is they say, oh, it's such a popular movie. It was so damn popular, it made like $1 billion. Great. Infinity War made $2 billion, dude. Don't throw numbers at it, because Infinity War wins. It has a bigger cast, better visual effects, more emotional plot, better storytelling, better script, better acting. Everything everything in Infinity Wars is better at what it does than Black Panther, and Black Panther's in there. And sure, it bugs me. And I just wanted to talk about it and say why it bugs me. And hopefully you guys see that I'm not just hating on it. Because again, if it was the only superhero movie, then sure. But a better movie of the same genre came out. That's just how it works. It's a better movie. Sorry. Sorry about it. Sorry, but not. Sorry, but not. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't think I was going to get that, but even talking about it made me upset, man. And also, I feel like there were a lot of snubs. Best Actress, Hereditary. Dude, fucking Toni Collette. The mom in that movie? In Hereditary? The scene where she's doing the counseling thing and she's talking to the other people? Are you fucking kidding me? She's not nominated? Hereditary isn't nominated for Best Directing? Or even Best Picture? It's shit like that that bugs me. Horror movies never get the love that they deserve, and neither do superhero movies. And sure, we are now, but it's the pity choice. It really is. I hate to say it, but it really is. It's the pity choice. They're just choosing Black Panther because of politics, and they know it'll make them look good. And even if it doesn't win, that's, I think, our logic. It's like, well, it won't win, but at least give it a nomination. You know what I mean? So we can put it on the DVD box when we re-release it or something. And I just think that's bullshit. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it today, guys. I hope you had fun. We got serious there at the end. Sorry, I brought it down a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to say again, thank you guys so much for listening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like me on Spotify. Follow me on... I don't know how it works on Spotify, but just do it. Follow me on Instagram, if you haven't already. OMC Damian. And again, I'm hoping that I can hoping that I can figure out something on how to film these live, because I know a lot of people want to see me talk or see me get excited or use my hands and whatnot, and I'm excited to do that. But yeah, thank you guys so very much for listening, even if it's just two of you or fucking one of you. I really appreciate it, taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble. I hope you like it. I hope you think it's fun. And if you ever want to be on the podcast, I know I am a lazy piece of shit, and I know I'm very flaky sometimes, or just lazy. If you want to be on the podcast, please let me know. I want you to be as serious about it as I am, because that's why I want people on. I want to talk about anything. I want to hash it out. I want to have some fun. So let me know, guys. DM me on Facebook or Instagram. Let me know what you think of the podcast, or let me know if you want to be on it. I'll have you over to the house. I'll make you dinner. I'll make you lunch. We'll have some snacks and we'll talk about shit. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the Leftover Popcorn Podcast, and I have been your host, Damian Linneman. Please never forget it. And as always, guys, thank you so much. Bye-bye.